Never, never, never let strangers borrow your books if you want them back. Never let strangers borrow money either. It's gonna kind of tie into this topic, but this is specifically for books. So, I do not borrow books from the library because I know how I mistreat my books. I like to bend them at the spine. Like this one, I just started reading and I like to fold them in half. And I know how I use and abuse my books. However, I only want to use and abuse my books. And that's why I don't borrow books from the library because I don't want to use and abuse a book that somebody can potentially want to read. And I don't want it to be in bad condition when the next person reads it because I want it to last as long as possible in a library. But do not let anybody borrow your books if you want them back. I let a person borrow a book 2 years ago. And she just said, "Oh, I'm just gonna borrow it." Come to find out, when I asked for it back, that borrowing books means you're just swapping and you're not getting that book back. You're giving that book to that person. So I asked her, I was like, "Can I have my book back?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you gave me the book." I'm like, I did not give you the book. I just let you borrow the book. And I've been on a lot of like book Facebook pages where if you give somebody your book to borrow, you basically gave them that book. And I learned my lesson the hard way. I didn't know that this was a thing. So never, 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 never. If you want a book and you want to keep the book, do not let your family, friends borrow that book. Just, it's better off just buy them a copy for themselves. This will save you more money than you think, especially if you have original copies of any book series that you have, limited edition book series, because you know that these books, sometimes they have one edition that gets printed, and then for the rest of its lifetime, it has a different edition. So the first editions, or maybe even the second editions, are rare copies, and then the rest of the editions for the rest of its lifetime is different. So never, 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 if you want to keep your books, never let anybody borrow them. If your best friend is like, "Hey, I want to borrow that book," buy it for them. It's going to give you a headache if you let them borrow it. So it's going to save you money if you just buy them another book.